somebody up, get their technique going, but it's also to see what kind of condition you're in, and if you're going to start on maybe a bit less than you posted at the weigh-in, or perhaps a bit more. And in his case, they decided to take the weight down because obviously he sustained some kind of shoulder injury in the snatch. But by the look of that, they didn't take the weight down low enough, so we'll have to wait and see if he's going to come out and repeat. But the man on the stage now,
yeah, way down actually, in 11th place in the ranking at the halfway stage. Atamaka, 125 kilos, so 15 kilos off the pace. Let's see if he's more effective here.
Nice start. The 150, that's 330 pounds.
Yes, but again, he's well below his best, David. I think he's been quite conservative where he started, and maybe he has taken notice of his condition and how things have gone in the warm-up today. And he's guaranteed himself a total, but I wouldn't be too optimistic of him going too far. Just at the early stages of the clean and jerk phase of this men's 62 kilo competition, and all the main contenders still to begin their campaigns. The man who's leading the clean and jerk competition, well, it's Diego Salazar of Colombia, who in the B group managed to clean and jerk 160 kilos and sits at the moment in the overall lead with 292.5. And that's a very decent set of results, David, because he was 5th in the ranking in the snatch when all of the A group athletes had finished the Colombian. And 132.5, well, that's only 7.5 kilos down off the lead. So one wonders why he wasn't in the A group fighting with the main men. But we've often asked that question. So the bar going up to 152.5 kilos, and we think it could be the Frenchman Matam who will be next to come out.
So I'm not sure if Solomonoglu there is going to. Here we're seeing him. Good clean, but that shoulder's definitely bothering him. So is he going to be coming out for another attempt? I wouldn't have thought so, David, because I mean, obviously in great pain. Is it worth coming out for another attempt? It's not an Olympic Games. He's certainly not going to gain anything by clean and jerking 150 kilos. So they're just trying some cold spray and some ice, which is the right thing to do immediately after sustaining an injury. I'm not sure whether coming out for another attempt is the right thing to do, though, because obviously in weightlifting you need to think long term, and you have to think of what you've got to gain and what you've got to lose.
Well, it's one of those where often your heart wants to, and your head is not engaged, and somebody's got to engage it for you. Live to fight another day, but the older you get, the days get fewer and further between the opportunities. Now, Samson adjusts the hands, the wider grip, chucks it. Ooh.
Well, he's got a total. He's got a total of 275 now, but he's certainly not at his best, and he walks off sort of shaking his head with a little wry smile, knowing that
well, there's two men from the B group. Diego Salazar, I've mentioned. Toshio Imamura of Japan. He's got 277.5, so he's still, at the moment, in overall second place. That's all going to change, but I wonder how much further, if at all, Matam can go.
So back to the youngster from Armenia, and the bar now moves to 155 kilos. It's just a shade over 340 pounds. And again, remember, These men only weighing 62 kilos or less. Snatched 130. So this would put him on to 285. But of course would only put him into second place because, as Dave's already mentioned, the man from the B group we lifted earlier managed a total of 292.5. So there we go.
Well, there's the total.
So that puts him into second place overall, but of course many of these athletes haven't started yet.
Yes, I was having a little chat at a travel show the other day about Armenia, and they were saying, oh, you know, it'd be nice to bring the weightlifting championships to Yerevan. And the young lady who was telling me about Armenia and why it would be a very good place to bring it, I said to her, well, it's not a very safe part of the world. And she said, well, I had to think about coming to London, which sort of put it in perspective. Now, Lichwald for the Ukraine, 7.5.
Always good in the clean, but struggles with the second phase of the movement.
Yes, he's a fussy lifter.
So he's got a total, but that still only puts him into second place.
Yeah, that total of Diego Salazar is very respectable, 292.5. I mean, that's pretty decent. Be slightly more relaxed and therefore execute this lift with less less struggle, I guess, than the first one. Well, that is certainly a better clean.
Better now.
No, can't give him that, David.
Well, this is it, you see. I would give him it. And it's a 2-to-1 decision in his favour.
Yeah, now, I wouldn't have given him that. So, it's a perfect example of what we've been talking about for the last couple of days. And we'd still love to hear from you on our website, www.weightlifting.de, about press-outs. Should press-outs count? Or should it just be simply that you have to get the weight above your head and locked out? And if you press out on the way, then should it matter?
Well, this is a fairly low starter, but going on the snatch, this man's not at his best.
Well, Sabanise, who's been denied gold medals on 2 occasions in the World Championships. In fact, if you go back to 1999, it was Li Maosheng who denied him then in Athens. But that looked very strong, and maybe what he's decided to do is to get a total, and now, with that confidence, build, yeah. He was denied by Peshalov in 2000. Of course, at the Olympics. But he did come back well enough with a total of 305 in the European. But 305 in the Europeans, you've got to put that into context. We're talking about men here with Li Maosheng who win with 320, 325, that sort of mark. And Sabanise in the Olympics, 317.5. Well, you're really wound up for that, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, what you're really saying is, can't see that he'd be ready to lift 317.
Not today.
I mean, he'd have to go to, well, what, 172.5? And I don't think he'd be up for that.
177.5. He snatched 140, did he not?
Yeah.
So I don't think he's ever done 177.5.
No, 172.5 was his bet, and the Turk is struggling. Sabanise, though, leads the competition, leads with 300, leads the clean and jerk with 140.
160.
Sorry, 160, my apologies. 140 snatch, 160 to achieve that total. But still, Salazar showing up well, currently second overall. And now the second attempt, 160 on the bar for Danielian of Armenia. Half a minute.
Arthur.
15 seconds. Drives up.
That's good.
Yes, he seems much more at home in the clean and jerk. And that is understandable, isn't it? I mean, he's young, and the clean and jerk discipline is much easier to get to grips with. You made the point right at the beginning of the competition, how those who get the technique right early on in their careers for the snatch really tend to prosper as they go through their sporting career. Because the way the competition works at the moment, David, is if you can't snatch, then you're always going to be catching up, and that's always very hard. That's exactly what Stefan Georgiev of Bulgaria is going to have to try to do. But maybe he can do it because he's only 2.5 kilos off the leader, thanks more to them than himself. Well, he'd have 285 if he can chuck this above his head in the prescribed manner. Oh, well, good fight. I'll tell you what, he deserves that lift, and that's a really gutsy effort to close on. And 285 whizzes him right up into second overall. No, it doesn't actually. It puts him in 5th overall. But in terms of the clean and jerk, it puts him into 2nd place on overall positions, just behind Sabanise because of his heavier body weight. But at the moment, he's in 5th overall position. It's Sabanise, Salazar, Danielian, and Lichwald, and then Atmaka. And Lichwald is next up here to try and improve his position. Now this would take him to 292.5.
Well, I was going to say always very strong in the clean and then struggles with the jerk, but it's good.
Yes, and he's gone 2nd overall by virtue of lighter body weight.
But of course into the lead on the clean and jerk.
But if you're just coming in from school, college or work, We're in the closing stages of the men's 62 kilo competition. The first half has gone to Li Maosheng of China with a 140 kilo snatch, leading by virtue of his lighter body weight from the Greek Leonidas Sabanise, and Im Yong-soo also on 140, with the Bulgarian Stepan Georgiev just 2.5 kilos behind leading 3. Of the leading 4 that I've just identified, only Sabanise has started his campaign, and the man in picture there, Li Maosheng, getting to the end of his warm-up phase, so he'll soon be in action, David.
Well, he's on 140 kilos there, so down to start with 170, so I would have thought that he'd probably do either a warm-up on 150, yes, 5's going on there, then 160, and then I'd say he'd be ready. So yes, just 2 more warm-ups, and he'll be ready to open on his 170 kilos.
And China, who had the perfect day yesterday, winning both the men's 56 kilo competition and the women's 48 kilo competition. Well, their run of success brought to a halt earlier today in the women's 53 class, when Ri of the People's Republic of Korea eventually got the better of Li of China. Li's consolidating the clean and jerk world record. So everything in terms of overall medals and championships so far, David, heading eastwards back to Asia. And maybe Georgiev is the man to disturb the Chinese. Now, what have we got going on here? This is Matam, and there's...
Well, the bars... I think Matam is... Okay, he didn't snatch very well, he only did 130, but of course, you've got to remember in World, Europe and European Championships and Commonwealth Games, there are individual medals for the snatch and clean and jerk, so the bar's now going up to 165 kilos. So 1 or 2 people will be hoping that the Chinese and the Korean, Bulgarian are going to perhaps falter, and then they'll be able to sneak in with a medal on the clean and jerk.
Well, it's interesting to watch Sabanise's progress, because I would have thought, David, if he's not going to come in at 165, then he'd surely come in at 167.5 for his second attempt. Wouldn't go for 10 kilos. I mean, he's got a PB of 172.5, so he'll be pushing it. We don't think he's right at the top of his range, you know, in condition for the top of his range. So I think Sabanise, I'm looking for 167.5 for him to take his second attempt. So the bar is now going to be increased. Well,
this is a huge jump for him, David. Remember, he did 52, then 57. 57 was a convincing clean, but not a convincing jerk. Remember, he got a 2-to-1 decision 4, and now he's taken a huge jump to 165. So I guess he figures he's got a total. Why not? Why not take a big jump and go for a clean and, you know, maybe a clean and jerk medal?
Yeah, but it's
nothing to lose, really.
It's not a clean and jerk PB, that's for sure, because he's done 172.5.
At this body weight, I think that may have been at 69, because he flits between classes, this man, doesn't he?
I think you're right, 69 kilos.
So this is a big weight at 62 for him. And there we see too big.
I think everything you've said in the last 30 seconds, if I summarised it, was I don't believe he's going to. He didn't.
Yes, yeah, it was too big a jump. Maybe 160 would have been okay, but 65 is certainly too high. So does the bar stay on 165? I think it does.
Well, Lichwald to take a third attempt. Currently leading the clean and jerk, so this would just give him an extra 2.5 kilos. Wouldn't affect the overall position because here's Sabanise, and in fact Sabanise 167.5. Reading my script, or was I reading his? I think this is intelligent.
Intelligent. This is going to be a very challenging lift for him because, as we've seen in the snatch, he's not at his best.
Love to see him get a world title one day, though. Be very nice. Former Albanian, but very much a member of the Greek team. You could see he couldn't hang about too long there with that sort of weight, but I think he's done it.
Yes,
3 whites.
I'm impressed that he managed that, because you could see he was shaking with the weight on his shoulders. It was so heavy, he was shaking, and he knew, as he said, he had to go really, really quick for fear of blacking out. Really hard clean the back rounds, and he's shaking with that weight. Dips, drives, and there it is. And I think he's pretty surprised himself. But that puts him on 307, so increases his lead. But of course, there's still athletes that haven't started yet.
Well, you've got most importantly Mao Sheng, the world record holder. You've got Im Yong-soo, the Korean. Also Sufei Zhang, who bombed out in the snatch, but can still be a messer, a danger to the clean and jerk competition. I don't think Sabanise will be too much worried about that. I think if he can get something decent out in the overall, and of course he's got every chance now.
Of course, you've also got Stefan Georgiev to worry about. He's posted at 170 starter, and he was only 2.5 kilos off the mark. Although he's heavy, he was still only 2.5 kilos off the mark in the snatch phase. So anything could happen, really.
Yeah, it should be a good finale. The weight on the bar, finding out 1 or 2 now.
Yes, I mean that was just too heavy. Didn't have the power in the legs to stand up with that 167.5. So he finishes on 290 and goes away with a bit more experience.
Now the Korean to open his account at 170. So 170 to go with 140 would give him 310, would take him 2.5 kilos ahead of Sabanise overall. And this is 5 kilos up on his Asian Games performance in Busan.
Yes, so he is slightly heavier than Sabanise, so he needs to stay 2.5 kilos in front.
And there's the embassy staff for the big cheer. 310. So People's Republic of Korea ahead of Greece, ahead of the Ukraine, but 2 Chinamen yet to start, and a certain Mr. Georgiev. And we're just about to see the first of the 2 Chinamen. Sufei Zhang, well, he's not really a bother, is he, in terms of the overall?
No, that's right. Failed with 140 twice, then went for broke with 145. So, yeah, he's really in this for the clean and jerk. Having to work really hard to stand up with that. So 4 lifts and 4 failures.
Well, they might have 2 Chinamen in the class, but they don't seem to have worked out, a viable plan. I mean, fair enough, Li Mao Sheng's their top seed, their main man. That's the man that they reckon that they're going to win this title with, and here he is. But you would think with a more conservative approach, they might have got the other man into the medals. And why not?
That's right.
Mind you, it wouldn't be the first time that we've found the Chinese tactics difficult to fathom out. But no such problems with Lim. It's very clear what he's after. Nice clean. And the world record holder in the clean and jerk has no problems. 310, lighter body weight. He now leads from Im Yong-soo, with Sabanise now on 307.5, 2.5 kilos off the pace in third place. And of course, David, if he's on really top form, well, he's got 12.5 kilos to go, because 182.5 is his clean and jerk world record. So if anybody's got a bit of extra petrol in the tank, it should be Li Maosheng.
Yes, I mean, this man, Su, right on his limit with 170. I mean, the clean was very hard and the jerk really wasn't there, so he's really struggling today.
I mean, I suppose I can see why he's coming at 170, and that's to get the.
Well, he's trying to get a medal in. He's trying to go home with a medal.
Yeah, in the clean and jerk. And with Sabanise lighter and with 167.5, he's got to go for this.
That was better. That was a better clean. Now, he could do this. He just really needs to get it together. No. Well, that was a better attempt. He's got one more go at that.
Georgiev yet to start, though. It's going to be an unhappy day for somebody here, David. Somebody's not going to get an overall championship medal out of the four main contenders. Maosheng is not going to be unlucky, I'm pretty certain of that.
What's interesting about that second lift of 170, it means that the Stefan Georgiev has either left the competition
or is going up,
or is going to take at least 172.5. Which I guess, considering that you know, he's the heavier man and he's 2.5 down, in theory he needs to stay 5 kilos ahead. So.
Well, we've had no signal that he's pulled out, and Lichwald ends on 292.5. That's a snatch of 130 to go with 162.5 second clean and jerk. And Sabanise now coming out to take a conservative third attempt. Now this will lift him up to 310 and is second place overall.
Well, what do you think, Dave? He wants it. He'll give it 100%. The 67 was tough.
Well, I think I can see that this is in fact the only thing he could do. To have gone for more would have been ridiculous. If he gets a little bit more, and Georgiev has got it badly wrong. No.
I was going to say this would be the lift of his life a minute, so he hasn't finished yet. It's still not a lift. There's 20 seconds left on the clock, and
it is in his mind.
Yeah, I'm going to say for it to be a lift, you have to put it past your knee. So he could, in theory, run back on and have another go, but no. The 60. He was pleased and surprised, I think, that he managed to do 67. Okay, they took the minimum. They took the minimum jump, which was obviously too much.
Well, it is 2.5 than he lifted in the European Sabanise. He won the European title this year on 307.5. Georgiev only totaled 297.5. Lichwald was on 292.5. So Lichwald has ended on exactly the same score. Sabanise has improved a little bit. And the big question is Georgiev.
Sabanise, didn't he do? Did he do 307 at the Europeans?
No, he did 305.
305. So he's gained 2.5 kilos.
Yes.
But in this field,
yeah, it was tough for him, you know, at the at the World Championships to finish second to Pashalov. With Kakashvilis winning and Dimas winning, you know, sort of, it was like very difficult to be noticed. But he is a very good member of the team, and he flies the flag very well for them. But Sufei Zhang, well, I don't know what you make of today, and I don't know what they'll make from the day. It's a long old journey from Beijing to here, and I think they messed it up. But here's Georgiev, 172.5.
Well, Georgiev could steal it here. I mean, let's see how convincing this first lift on 172.5 is.
Well, we both pointed out, David, that finding himself only 2.5 kilos off the pace was an absolute blessing, because I don't think when he went out of the competition that he would find himself at the halfway stage just having to catch up 2.5 kilos, because that will be very gettable to him. And now in one lift he can do exactly that.
So this would put him on 310, but of course he's got 2 lifts remaining.
Absolutely. Well, you then have Im Yong with 2, Li Mao Sheng with 2, and Georgiev with 2.
Yeah, so this lift really would guarantee a bronze medal, and then he's got 2 lifts to try and improve on that.
Well, let's hope he gets this, because it's going to make it a great finale. Good, strong split, and a nice chuck overhead, and that's exactly what we wanted. And Georgiev knows that he's going to be on the podium.
Oh.
Now, I wonder what he means by that.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, that was a pretty comfortable lift. Very strong in the second phase. I mean, well, that puts him into 3rd place, because remember he weighed in at 72 kilos. So he's 3rd place, but he does have 2 attempts.
And he does lead the clean and jerk.
And he's in 1st place on the clean and jerk.
So the fun and games, I think, are about to begin.
Yes, and the bar now goes to 175 kilos, so we get the 3 reds on each side.
And this is where it would be lovely to see that blackboard backstage there, to see this is where the chess game of weightlifting really comes into play. 3 guys, 2 lifts apiece, and you've got to think that there's not a lot between them.
Well, there's nothing between them at the moment. They're all on 310, and they've all got 2 clean and jerks left. So it's a good position for us to be in. It's because it's turning into the fight that we expected.
So 175 for Im Yong-soo. Now he's lighter than Stefan Georgiev, but of course heavier than Li Mao Sheng. So this to put the target up to 315. Stand up, good. Splits, he's strong, very good.
So he now takes the lead.
Yes, he's got the lead in the clean and jerk. He's got the lead overall, and he's got 1 more lift, so he's got 1 more card to play. And this is where his coaches have got to be very alert, because not only have they got to get the weight right for him in terms of what he's able to lift, but they've got to watch the situation in relation to the body weights. Because here comes Mao Sheng, and of course if he lifts this,
well, he'll take the lead by virtue of lighter body weight. So this is how close this competition is. So first of all, the Korean takes the lead with 315, weighing in at 61.75. This man weighed in at 61.5. So this lift will put him into the gold medal position on the jerk and total. But of course, there's still lifts to come, so that position can change.
World record holder has to stand up. Has to stand up, and he can't stand up. He's got 1 more chance.
Yes, he caught that wrong on the shoulders. It was slightly forward, if you'll notice in the slow-mo. If you look at the left side, it's slightly forward of the shoulders, so it's not in a good position to stand up. And stays down there. The ideal thing to do on the clean is to hit that position and stand. It's very difficult to stand up from a dead position.
So now Georgiev.
Well, if Georgiev gets this, he goes into second place.
He does, because he's heavier than Im Yong-soo. And then we've got 3 lifts left, 1 apiece.
So he's doing it right. He's taking this to give him second place, and then it leaves him 1 lift to go for broke, to go for gold.
Yeah, but it's how they play those last 3 cards. Because Li Mao Sheng, not for the first time in his career, is going to have the biggest decision of the lot. Because he could come out and go for 175 again, but he's taking a chance if he does that the other two
are going to go any further.
Exactly.
But this is it. This is weightlifting. Well, that was good. Well, now, come on, we need this.
That's a pity. That I really wanted him to get that, because that would have really set it up. Now the situation is that Georgiev's got 1 more lift, and Mao Sheng's got 1 more lift. Now Georgiev, really, he's got a really difficult position because he's the heaviest. So maybe his decision isn't quite as difficult as Li Mao Sheng's, because you could say, David, well, he might sit back, wait and see what the others do, and then just pile it on and have a go at it. Li Mao Sheng, on the other hand, has decided that he's going to take a chance that the other 2 aren't up to it. Now, I could see why on the evidence.
The dangerous man, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be a double Korean celebration here.
Yeah, but again, this lift, you see, will put him back into the lead, and then there'll be 2 lifts that could decide the competition. So.
No, he's got it wrong. He's got it wrong, and Li Mao Sheng, arguably being the world record holder in the clean and jerk, being the Asian Games champion, the pre-competition favourite, is down in bronze medal position.
Well, there's a decision now. Does Georgiev take the 175, which actually won't win in the championships, or?
But he's
going for second place now, isn't he? This is for second. The Korean's already won.
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, he's in. You know, he's
in third. He wants. Yes, he's second, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he. I mean, he'd need 100 because remember he's heavier. Plus he was 2.5 down on the snake. He'd need 180 actually. To go into first place.
I suppose he's banking on the fact that he thinks the Korean can do 177.5. In which case
he'd need 182 anyway.
Yeah, which is there's no way he's going to do that.
So he sat back and he's decided that 175 gives him overall silver, which, considering where he was after the snatch and considering the weights that Li Mao Sheng of China has lifted in the past, this is probably more than he could have hoped for, or more than he would have hoped for.
5 seconds. He's not going to make this. Oh.
2 seconds left on the clock. So close to that silver medal.
It's been a Korean afternoon here in the Torvar Hall in Warsaw, with Ri winning the women's 53 kilo competition, and now Im Yong-soo prevailing in the men's 62 kilo class, and he still has 1 lift to go and an extra 2.5 kilos going on the bar to take him up to a total of 317.5. And it just shows you, David, how things can turn around. Li Mao Sheng in Busan just a few weeks ago in the Asian Games, 140, 182.5 in the clean and jerk for a 322.5 total, just 2.5 kilos short of the world standard. Im Yong-soo 135, 165, only 300, and you're looking for 317.5 kilos. That's a huge increase. 17.5 kilos since the Asian Games.
It's amazing. But now the winner of the overall gold and the gold in the clean and jerk.
No, and it's only 15 kilos better.
I can understand it, Dave, because you know where's the incentive? He's already got the gold medal. He doesn't need to lift 170. It's not a world record. He doesn't need it.
No, I mean he would have been 182.5. He was going for a world record, 183. nonetheless,
you're looking at the new world champion,
and
it's another sculpt for the People's Republic of Korea.
yes, 2 champions in the space of just over 4. So excellent competition, and Im Yong-soo there taking the clean and jerk competition. 175 lighter body weight there, giving him the gold medal in the clean and jerk ahead of Stefan Georgiev. And 170, those 2 costly failures of Li Maosheng. And Sabanise lifted well, gutsy effort, which we've come to expect from him, but I'm afraid only 4th place. And for Leonidas Sabanise, it means also 4th place in the overall competition. And we'll have those overall positions in a moment. Worth, I think, David, another pat on the back for Diego Salazar of Colombia, finishing in the clean and jerk. And where is he? He's 6th overall in the B group, so it's a pity we didn't see him. He should have been in this main group contesting for the medals, but maybe a name to watch out for in the future. And you can see 3:15, 3:10, silver and bronze decided by bodyweight Li Maosheng getting the brighter coloured medal.